Hello friends and family and other people watching. Today I'm filming an exciting video, which is going to be a video themed all about villains. This concept is inspired by the release of the Rose Society, which is the second book in the Young Elites series. So in anticipation of that coming out, we are celebrating with this new tag. The Young Elites was in my top 3 favorite books of last year. I am in love with this book. The Rose Society is probably like my number 2 most anticipated release, but Queen of Shadows already came out, so currently, right now, I am just waiting for the day. If you have never read The Young Elites, I'm going to tell you about it right now. This book follows a girl named Adelina. It takes place in a society where a disease has ravaged the land and a lot of people died. Adelina is one of several people who caught the disease but then recovered, but she was left with special powers afterward. A lot of these powers are good, but some of them are a little bit more dark, such as Adelina's. And the main reason why I think this book is so incredibly unique is because Adelina is sort of like a villain, even though she's the protagonist, because she has such a dark power. And although she's working to do good for her society, sometimes it can be a bit of a burden. And I think it's one of the most unique books ever, because our hero is sort of an anti-hero. So in honor of all these heroes and villains, we're gonna do a tag today, or I'm gonna do a tag today. Hopefully you'll do it too if you get tagged, called the #VillainSquad tag. And if you have not read The Young Elites, I highly recommend it. So down below I will leave a link to the paperback and the pre-order link to the Rose Society, which comes out on October 13th. First of all, I'm gonna be in this villain squad because embrace my bad side, am I right, ladies? I have constructed a villain name for myself. I'm 6'2". I don't know if you can tell, just me being a human being on camera, but I am freakishly tall. No one bothers me, it's great. Therefore, I think the only fitting name I have for myself if I were a villain would be something to do with my height. Therefore, I am the Crane. You know, cranes are tall. Put me in that Taylor Swift Bad Blood video. So number 1 in our villain squad tag is pick a leader. I'm pretty sure whenever we think villain, we all think of one person, the quintessential bad guy, and that is Voldemort, and he's gonna be the leader of our crew. Voldemort is basically indestructible. He's got the villain thing down. If I was looking for world domination, I would definitely put my trust in that fella. Person number 2 is the Killer Smile. Pick a villain who is extremely attractive. I don't know if you're thinking it, but I thought it, and I'm gonna say it even if it might not count anymore. Warner from Shatter Me. This counts because he is the villain in book 1. I mean, who can deny this? Who can look me in the face and say, Warner is not attractive? He does not count for that question? You can't deny it. It's a well-known fact. To this day, I hate book 1 in that series because Warner is so gross and villainous and beautiful, but he's extremely attractive, so he fits the bill, joining the villain squad. The next person is the Loose Canon. Pick a character that marches to the beat of their own drum. Literally me. For this person, I chose Sebastian from the Mortal Instruments. Trying not to spoil anything here because I know there's like a very fine line between like all the different names and who he is and stuff. First of all, I love him. He's like one of my favorite villains of all time. Well, all these villains are, so I guess I should just mention that up front. All of these villains are amazing. Sebastian is bae, but also like stay 20,000 feet away from me, you know? I think the main thing I love about Sebastian is that you can never find him, and it's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? No, where in the world is Sebastian? Join the squad, bro. Just don't get near me. The next person is the Unhinged One. Pick a villain that isn't playing with a full deck. For this person, I chose none other than the Phantom from Phantom of the Opera, which is technically a book, but I'm pretty sure you don't have to choose just book characters for this. However, I'm not well versed in Marvel or anything like that, so I'm just sticking to books. The thing that breaks my heart about the Phantom is he just wants a friend. He's so bad and cruel, but it's because he's so antisocial, and it's so heartbreaking, yet creepy, yet sad, yet weird. He is a bit crazy because he lives in like a dungeon underground an opera house and he's never talked to anyone because he's an outcast, and I definitely think he'd be a great unhinged one. The next person is the Redeemer. Pick a villain that is on the path of redemption. Aw man, retweet when you could have done Warner for that one. Okay, I legitimately just scrolled through like every single book I've ever read on Goodreads and I cannot think of a good redeeming character except for Warner, so I'm gonna be Warnet trash and mention Warner again. Let's talk about Warner really quick. So, redeeming himself, you know, at last he sees the light and it's like the fog has lifted, you know, unravel me, things happen. Good villain, redeeming, love the bae, reppin' that OTP, love it. The next character is the evil one. Pick a villain that is just bad to the bone, which I chose Queen Lavanna from the Lunar Chronicles series. She infuriates me. Like, every time she appears in the book, I'm like, why are you the way that you are? I have heard from people that read Fairest that there's not much of an explanation of why she's bad. I think she's just a sour nut. What's the phrase from Willy Wonka? A bad nut? And our last villain to go on the squad. This is the once was good person, a villain that didn't start out bad. And I chose the Darkling. He's exactly like Warner if Warner had not had a redemption arc. The Darkling is just horrid. It is lovely. He's beautiful. He could fit under the beautiful villains. He was such an innocent little baby. I just remember the one lady telling, I almost said Adelina, Alina, about how when he was a kid he was so precious and little and innocent, and then he turned not innocent. Can we just get a novella of like 6-year-old Darkling being all innocent and precious? That would make my life. And those are all the villains that I would put on my villain squad if we were ever to go after world domination, and Warner would be there twice, apparently. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'm going to be linking a ton of people down below for you guys to do this video as well. If you read The Young Elites and you loved it, please, we need to bond over this, because if you've read it, you know what happens at the end, and I'm still not over it. I didn't even mention Taran in this video because I'm not ready to talk about him. He's so wonderful. Goodbye, everyone. Hope you're having a nice life. Peace out from the crane.